Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. In this episode, I'll be reviewing The Ultimatum Season 1, Episode 2. It's the morning after the couples went out for on a group date and they were chatting and sort of catching up, I think, trying to find out where everybody was. And so we start off with Alexis. Alexis approaches COLBY again, even though the night before he told her that he really didn't see him moving in with her on a trial marriage. And so COLBY sort of states that he still stands where he was when he said that, I'm really not interested in us forming a partnership, even just for 3 weeks. And you can see she's hurt. She's offended that, in her opinion, she looks more like MADLYN than anybody else. And it's like, apart from the color of your skin, there's no similarities between the two of you. None at all. You are ready for marriage. MADLYN is not. You are looking for a long-term commitment. MADLYN is looking at exploring other relationships to see if she can make it work with somebody else. And so she's so offended that she stands up when COLBY, I think in her opinion, she was hurt that COLBY's the one who broke off things. And so she's trying to make it seem like she's the one who's broken off things with COLBY and is not interested in him, and storms off to MADLYN to moan about how, she shares the same feelings with MADLYN. And it's like, you don't know her. How do you share the same feelings when you don't know somebody? You're just going off your emotions, that you're hurt that somebody has rejected you. And so if you're that hurt by rejection, why are you not hurt by the fact that your boyfriend is dating somebody else? Which doesn't make sense to me, that her boyfriend is dating somebody else and she's not upset about that, but she's more upset that somebody has turned her down. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense. And it makes you question why she came onto the show, because she's not ready for the show and what it has to offer. She could have easily given Hunter an ultimatum at home, and if he didn't change, she could have moved on. But then maybe that's me. From there, we get to see Zay and Shanique on a date. For me, most reality shows, or every reality show that I watch, I always tend to find a couple that are my favorite. I think this is normal for everybody else. And for me, Shanique and Zay have the opportunity to have a successful relationship that can lead to marriage and starting a family and settling down and spending the rest of their lives together, because you can see that they're sexually attracted to one another. You can see through the questions that they're asking one another, that find out about the other person and see if that person will be an ideal candidate, for them to not only spend 3 weeks with, but possibly a future together. So for me, I really like Shanique and Zay. I think they are my couple for this season of the Ultimatum. I might be wrong. They might go back to their partners and fall back in love with their partners, but I really don't see it. I think if they really focus and really work very hard towards this relationship, they could have something that goes past the show. We're also shown Shanique on a date with Nate. And for me, I know, there's some sort of touchy feeling, some leaning forwards towards each other, and they do have the same conversation about children, just as Shanique had to say. But there's something a bit off. I can't see the connection to say that, these are people that would make, could be paired and have a long-term relationship. So there's really nothing there. I don't see a future for the two of them. And Nate also goes on a date with Lauren, and for me, with April. And for me, I think Nate has issues in the sense that his girlfriend, Lauren, he wants children. She doesn't want children. And so I think this is where they're stuck at. And I think he needs to not only look for someone who's interested in children, but also address other issues or concerns that may arise. So I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I don't think they were the ideal candidates to come on the show. We get to see Jake and Ray. We know they're sexually attracted to one another, and I think their relationship is more superficial. Yeah, they do try and sort of explore and discuss further, but their conversations are not as in-depth as Zay and Shanique. So to me, They might work, but not long term. They might work for a bit until the attraction fades and then they move on to the next person. And it's surprising that Jake was telling April that I've just got out of the military. I need to explore myself. I need to do this. And yet suddenly he's found Ray and this is the person for him. To me, I don't know. I think there's still a lot of questions. I see a lot of red flags with that relationship. MADLYN goes on a date with Randall. Obviously, MADLYN from episode 1, she said she had her eyes set on Randall and she wanted to explore Randall. And so I think for her, it's more, she's on a mission to date as many people as she can. Since in the previous episode, she said she hasn't been single since she was 17. And so they as well, Ray, Jake, MADLYN and Randall, I think, are more focused on physical attraction than anything else. It's not like they're wanting to know their partner or are coming up with a plan of, if this works, this is what we're going to do. And so I don't see them long-term as well. They might have a short-term relationship, but I don't see it lasting longer than that. I might be wrong. COLBY has a chat with Lauren and he seems more... He seems able to get Lauren to open up, to explore why she doesn't want to have children and what is affecting her or what is the cause behind sort of those feelings. And so during their conversations, I think they could make it if they continued to explore that and if they had the opportunity to live together. But I don't know really how that would be long term. From the couples sort of meet up, have a conversation again just before they go for the choice. And for me, I think all the participants are way too young to be on such a show. I think this show should have been for people between the age of 30 and 40, really. And April is the youngest person. She's 23. And I think the oldest is Hunter, who's about 30. And I don't think they have enough life experience that will allow them to make that choice and to say, yes, I'm ready for marriage. I know, it's not about age or it's not about numbers or whatever, but I don't think they have the maturity because in the questions they're asking, there is a lack of maturity or a lack of understanding, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Please please leave your own comments and let's see what everybody else thinks. When they get to make the choice, obviously Shanique is the first person to make a choice and she chooses Zay and Zay chooses her, which for me makes me very happy because I could see them as a couple. I could see them having a long-term relationship. So I'm very happy that they chose each other. Obviously, it's obvious that Ray and Jake were going to choose one another because you can see from the body language they haven't been shown dating anyone else outside of the two of them, outside of themselves. So I wasn't surprised at the fact that they chose each other. I don't know how that will look long term. I'm just heartbroken for April because April really loves Jake. So if things work out with Jake and Ray, I don't know what's going to happen to her. Randall and MADLYN were always going to choose one another anyway, because MADLYN has always had her eye on Randall. And so I think it was a matter of Randall coming on board and saying yes to her choice. So I'm not surprised with them choosing one another. Long term, I don't know how that would work, but I wouldn't be surprised if they because MADLYN has made it clear that she's not in it with COLBY for long term. So they might be together after the experiment, and then from there, they can come up with a plan. And then after that, they go to COLBY to choose, and COLBY chooses Lauren. And for me, I think, just to say, I think Hunter and Nate decided to propose to their girlfriends because they were concerned. Hunter, I think, chose his girlfriend because she was crying that, she was crying. I think Alexis used more emotional blackmail to get Hunter to propose to her because he knew no one wanted to be with her because I think everybody made it clear that they didn't like her. And because she came across as superficial, she wanted someone with money, she wanted this. And I think that put off a lot of the guys. And so I think this is why he ended up proposing to his own girlfriend. which didn't make sense to me, because whatever problems they came in with are still the same problems they are going to live with. Just like Nate and Lauren, Nate proposed to Lauren because he didn't want Colby to live with Lauren. He was worried that once she lived with him, she wouldn't want him back. And it's like, you had issues. You wanted children. She didn't want children. What's changed? What makes you think that suddenly she's going to change her mind and want children? And he's saying, I'm willing to sacrifice myself. And this was their bone of contention. This is why they came onto the experiment. And suddenly things have changed. And so because of that, it left Colby and April with no one but themselves. And they had no choice but to choose one another, which I have to give them credit for, because it allows for growth. It allows you to see what else is out there and see whether you're really after the person that you came in with, or whether it's time for you to move on. So as much as Colby and April didn't choose each other, I hope they learn from each other during this experience and come out better people. And I wish them all the best. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. See you next time. Bye.